The observation dome trembled as another storm rolled across the surface of planet Karos. Thick sheets of violet lightning split the sky, illuminating a wasteland of jagged black rock, acidic dust clouds, and towering skeletal remains of creatures too massive to fully identify. Even through reinforced transparent alloy, the view made seasoned explorers uneasy. Inside the dome, the alien delegation stood in rigid silence. They represented 6 different civilizations, each one hardened by centuries of space travel, conflict, and survival on hostile worlds. Yet none of them spoke. Fear had a way of stripping titles and pride away, leaving only instinct behind. Karos was classified as a Class-12 Deathworld, a designation so rare that most academic councils treated it as theoretical. Gravity here was nearly double galactic standard. The atmosphere carried microscopic organisms capable of corroding ship hulls. Predators evolved faster than weapons designers could adapt. No sapient life was supposed to exist here. And yet, something had answered their call. A faint rhythmic signal pulsed on the central holotable, its pattern disturbingly precise. It wasn't random noise. It wasn't automated. It reacted, adjusted, listened. "This world should be silent," whispered Takala, the chief xenobiologist. Her elongated fingers trembled as she adjusted her datapad. "Even our drones last less than 12 minutes on the surface." Commander Vresh stood at the front of the dome, armored plates layered thick across his broad frame. His species evolved on a high-radiation war world, yet even he felt exposed here. His clawed hands tightened behind his back. "The signal repeats every 40 seconds, he said, "too regular for a natural phenomenon." A low growl rippled through the delegation as the lights flickered. Somewhere outside, something massive moved through the dust storm. The ground vibrated, slow, deliberate steps rather than the frantic rush of predators. One of the junior envoys let out a sharp hiss. "Shields at full power?" "Yes," Vresh replied, though his tone suggested little comfort. "But if something out there wanted us dead, the shield would already be failing." The storm suddenly weakened, as if pushed aside by an unseen force. Visibility improved just enough for shapes to form beyond the dome, dark silhouettes against the glowing clouds. Tall silhouettes, upright. Walking, Takala's skin flushed a pale blue, the color of shock. "They're bipedal." "That's not possible," another scientist snapped. "Bipedal posture is inefficient under this gravity. Skeletal collapse would—" The figure in front stopped. Then another shape appeared beside it, then another. They moved with steady confidence, adjusting their stride effortlessly to the uneven terrain. Each step crushed rock that would have shattered lesser beings' limbs. They weren't charging. They weren't hiding. They were approaching. Weapons were visible now, compact, rugged, clearly designed for brutal environments. But they were not aimed. They were carried low, casual, as if threats here were routine. The delegation's translator systems suddenly chirped. The signal had shifted frequency again. "It's aligning with our language matrices," Takala whispered. "It's learning us in real time." The lead figure raised an arm slowly. Every guard in the dome tensed, energy weapons humming as they charged. But the arm didn't lift in aggression. It lifted in greeting. The figure waved. A stunned silence followed. Did it just—" someone began. Before the sentence could finish, the storm behind the figures parted further, revealing scars across the landscape. Massive carcasses lay half-buried in the ash, predators once considered apex threats. Some showed burn marks. Others bore signs of blunt force trauma. Killed recently. By them. The lead figure stopped a few meters from the shield. Its helmet reflected the delegation's fearful faces back at them. Slowly, deliberately, it tilted its head, studying them with forward-facing eyes, eyes of a hunter that had learned restraint. The ground shook again, not from an approaching monster, but from more of the figures emerging behind the first. Dozens of them now, moving with silent coordination, forming a loose formation without any visible command. Vresh swallowed hard. "These are not survivors," he muttered. "These are residents." The signal cut off completely. The dome was silent. Then a new sound replaced it, mechanical locks disengaging, armor seals releasing. The lead figure reached up to its helmet and removed it. The face beneath was unfamiliar, smooth skin marked by scars, dense muscle beneath, eyes sharp with intelligence and fatigue. It inhaled the toxic air of Karos without hesitation. The delegation collectively took a step back, because in that moment they understood something terrifying. This Deathworld was not empty. It was acclaimed, and whatever had emerged from the shadows had not merely survived Karos. It had mastered it. For a long moment no one moved. The storm roared behind the figures, lightning framing them like living weapons forged from the planet itself. Ash drifted through the air, settling harmlessly on their armor. The lead biped stood bareheaded in an atmosphere that should have burned lungs and dissolved flesh, breathing as calmly as if standing under a clear sky. Commander Vresh felt something unfamiliar coil in his chest. Respect and fear. The dome's translation system crackled, then stabilized. A deep, rough voice carried through the chamber. "Easy," the biped said. "We saw your ship come down. Didn't want a misunderstanding." The words were simple, calm, almost gentle. That terrified the delegation more than any roar could have. You are natives of this world?" Takala asked, forcing her voice steady. Her datapad streamed error messages as her models collapsed one after another. The biped tilted its head slightly, studying her. "No, but we live here." A murmur rippled through the delegates. "No species lives on a Class-12 Deathworld," one of the envoys snapped. "Your biology, your skeleton, your organs should—" The biped interrupted with a short, humorless sound. "Yeah, we hear that a lot." Behind the leader, another figure removed its helmet. Then another. Scarred faces appeared one by one, some young, some old, all carrying the same hardened calm. One of them limped, supported by a companion, yet still carried a weapon slung across their back. Another dragged the massive clawed limb of a dead predator, dropping it onto the ground with a heavy thud. The impact made the delegation flinch. "We're human," the leader said. "Name's Captain Elias Mercer." Takala's pad beeped sharply. "Human. Terran. Impossible. Records indicate your species went extinct after your home system's collapse." A flicker of something crossed Mercer's eyes. Anger, grief, then control. "That's the official story," he replied. "We didn't correct it." "Why?" Vresh demanded. Mercer stepped closer to the shield, placing a bare hand against the transparent alloy. The material held, but the pressure behind the gesture was unmistakable. "Because the universe didn't like us," Mercer said. "Everywhere we went, things escalated. Wars got bloodier, borders got nervous. So we disappeared." "You fled," an envoy said. Mercer shook his head. "No, we hid. Big difference." He gestured behind him, toward the hellish landscape. "We came to worlds no one else wanted. Worlds that tried to kill us every day. Worlds where survival meant adaptation or death." Lightning flashed, illuminating the corpses scattered across the plain. "Karos was empty when we arrived," Mercer continued. "Now it isn't." The delegation stared. Vresh's voice dropped. "You turned a Deathworld into a home." Mercer's lips curved faintly. "Home is where you bury your dead and keep going anyway." One of the scientists whispered, "How many of you are there?" Mercer glanced back at his people, at the wounded, the exhausted, the unbroken. "Enough." Silence fell again, heavier than before. Then Vresh asked the question no one else dared. "Why reveal yourselves now?" Mercer's expression hardened. "Because you found us, and because something else is coming." The delegation stiffened. "Our sensors detected your probe weeks ago," Mercer said. "It wasn't subtle, and when explorers start sniffing around Deathworlds, It usually means expansion, or conquest, or panic. He leaned closer, eyes locked on Vresh's. We don't want a war. The words sent a strange chill through the dome. But, T'Kala asked quietly. But we won't run again, Mercer said. We won't let anyone cleanse this world, not after what it took to survive here. Behind him, the humans shifted, not threateningly, but instinctively. A formation born from shared battles, not commands. We waited in terror once, Mercer said, when the galaxy first learned what humans could do under pressure. His gaze swept the delegation. You're afraid now. That's fair. He straightened, standing fully upright, framed by lightning and ash. But understand this, he said. We are Deathworlders because we endure what kills others. We adapt where others break. He tapped the shield lightly, a sound that echoed through the chamber. We're offering peace, cooperation, distance if that's what you want. A pause. But if you choose fear instead. The ground rumbled as a distant roar echoed across Karos. Mercer didn't even look back. Remember, this planet didn't make us monsters, he finished calmly. It only showed us what we already were. The delegation realized then that the most dangerous thing on Karos wasn't the storms, the gravity, or the predators. It was the quiet certainty of the humans standing before them, alive, unbroken, and done hiding.